a lot of kids with shovels. Maybe once.
Okay. All right. Move on to the next item. Well, I guess I'll turn this over to the village manager. The congressional record and proclamation.
Yes, thank you, President Johnson. The Honorable Gwen Moore of the Wisconsin House of Representatives has put together a congressional record in honor of Guy Johnson as a tribute today. And she had asked if I would read it out loud. So this is her speaking. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize Guy Johnson, a public servant and administrator. He has retired from public service in April of 2018. Guy Johnson was the village president for the last 12 years of his 20-year tenure on the Village of Shorewood's Board of Trustees. He has resided in Shorewood for over 34 years. Guy Johnson grew up in Milwaukee and graduated from Marquette University with an engineering degree from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and with a master's degree in business administration. He has tirelessly worked on behalf of the Village of Shorewood. Guy was treasurer of the Shorewood Booster Club and served on the committee that raised the funds for the Shorewood Fitness Center. He is proud of the burgeoning business district, neighboring initiatives, capital improvements, and access to the lake in the village. Further, Shorewood was the first community in Wisconsin to receive AARP's age-friendly designation because of its safe, walkable streets, better housing and transportation options, access to key services, and opportunity for residents to participate in civic and community activities. I know for all of these reasons and more, Guy Johnson regards and the Village of Shorewood as a true gem. He and his wife Mary have been together for over 50 years and share a love of service to the community. She is a retired nurse manager and president of the Milwaukee chapter of the Ladies of Charity, a 400-year-old organization started by St. Vincent de Paul that works to clothe underprivileged school children. She graduated from Shorewood High School. They have 2 sons who attended Shorewood schools from kindergarten through high school. They also have 4 grandchildren. Although he will no longer be at the helm serving as Shorewood's village president, he and Mary will remain living in Shorewood as active members of the community. Mr. Speaker, Guy Johnson has left a legacy of strong leadership. I am honored to have had the opportunity to work with him over the years in ways to improve the quality of life of those residing in the village of Shorewood. I am proud to recognize and pay tribute to Mr. Guy Johnson. The citizens of the 4th Congressional District, the state of Wisconsin, and the nation have benefited tremendously from his dedicated service. So I'm going to pause briefly because I have one more to read to you. And then you can stand up. And I just want to recognize Mary as well, who is sitting in the audience tonight. I apologize for calling you up, but in my brief time here on Earth, I have always been convinced that impressive people that you meet also have an impressive spouse. So I thank you. Even I've been here for a short time, but you've been a long haul of this board of service. So this is a proclamation in honor of Guy Johnson. Whereas Guy Johnson accepted the call to public service and became a member of the Shorewood Village Board in 1998, and whereas Guy Johnson, during his 20-year tenure, served as village trustee from 1998 to 2006, and as village president from 2006 to 2018. And whereas Guy Johnson, as in his capacity of village trustee, served as board liaison to numerous boards, committees, and commissions, and as village president served as chairman of the Planning Commission, and was also a member of the North Shore Fire Department Board of Directors. And whereas Guy Johnson, in his capacity of both village trustee and village president, served in a diligent manner, exemplifying and maintaining the high standards of public service, which the residents of Shorewood have come to expect and enjoy. And whereas in his leadership role, Guy Johnson, in addition to addressing issues which affected the community as a whole, made a sincere and thoughtful effort to resolve concerns of individual constituents as well. And whereas the village board of the Village of Shorewood deems it most appropriate and fitting to publicly acknowledge the many contributions of Guy Johnson to the Village of Shorewood. Now therefore I, Rebecca Ewald, Village Manager for the Village of Shorewood, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, do hereby express the appreciation of residents of the Village of Shorewood to Guy Johnson and present this proclamation honoring Guy Johnson for his outstanding service to the Village of Shorewood. Dated this day of April 16, 2018. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been a quick 20 years.
That's not what Mary says.
But she's centered it for me, so. But really appreciate it. You know what, one of the jokey comments I was making today was, if this meeting goes past midnight, I'm out of here. Because
I'm with you.
I don't get paid. Paul and I don't get paid. Even though it's, what, 34 cents an hour or whatever. I get 35, you only get 34. But really, thank you very much, everybody. And I've enjoyed serving the village, because everything that we try to do for the village is make it a better place. So thank you. I'm gonna move on. Okay, moving on the agenda, new business, Judiciary Personnel and Licensing Committee, Trustee McKay.
Thank you, President Johnson. What is before us tonight is approval of the bid's request to post the criterion this year. I was so involved in that proclamation that I don't have the opportunity to right here, if you're here. So we have Erica Lang here tonight to address the board and answer some questions. The request before us tonight reflects a few changes from previous years, including a slight change of length of the bike, the route, and an additional race that would extend the hours of the event. The only point of discussion has been around whether barricades are needed in the driveways that are not directly on the route. I think at committee we resolved this issue and are recommending that we keep all the barricades from previous years as long as we can cover the budget for that. I think this also requests a cabaret application as well as the event. I think I would like to make a motion and put this on the floor. And then we can take questions from Erica, unless you were expecting to present the whole memo to us.
Not at all. I didn't know you had a committee meeting there. I thought it was in there, and I was in that room.
Oh,
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Well,
When I thought you were just in our committee.
I just,
we're all texting. It's the old switcheroo. The old committee switcheroo. Well, we discussed in committee, and we recommend that this permit be granted, and that the costs, the one question we had was the cost in DPW, is it budgeted? Where's Leanne? She's not.
She'll be back.
She'll be back? Okay.
Are you ready to make a motion?
Yeah, I guess I'll make a motion, and then we can amend it if there's a budget. But there doesn't. All right, so what page is the motion on? It's in the first page? Yep. All right. One. Okay, here we go. I move to approve the street festival permit application for the Shorewood bid for the 15th annual Shorewood Criterion Bike Race to be held on Thursday, June 28, 2018, and to direct the village clerk to issue the appropriate permit.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Yes.
I did ask the question about whether the amount that the village would have to fund with staff is budgeted, or is Mark around? Mark here, or did he go?
Take Mark
Okay.
back.
Well, I did have a question about whether this amount was included in the budget or not, but
Oh,
would you know, Rebecca?
and the cost of the, our cost, sort of the charge back to the departments of this event, is there, how is it budgeted? Or how would it be paid for?
As of this year, there is a new account titled, in the 2018 budget, there's a labor account titled Special Events. So, as a matter of practice on a daily basis, our employees fill out a work log at the end of the day. And so they'll say, I spent 2 hours doing X and 3 hours doing Y and 3 hours doing, Z. And then they list the account numbers that those labor hours should be appropriately charged to. So anyone who does work for a bike race, 4th of July, men's club, summer celebration, any type of special event, they report on their work log that it was an event, and then that labor is charged and taken from that line item account.
But so it is in the budget.
It is in, that'd be a more appropriate for Mark to answer. There is an allocation in the budget. I can't really speak to how he estimated that number. I assume it's based on previous years and an average of events worked in time.
And was there a charge like this last year for the bike race?
We would have recorded the time worked at the bike race, yes.
Okay, so it's not a new thing that we haven't had before.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Our understanding was that the additional hours of the event may add to that cost.
We're still trying to work that out, but it appears that yes, just as I mentioned in the memo, the bulk of the prep work we did the morning of. By bumping those start times up, we don't have enough time to do that, so we will have to do some of it more the day prior than was done previously. So it kind of turns into a 3-day event for us.
With the same number of labor associated with it? Or the same number of hours of labor?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
It won't be less. It'll be in the neighborhood of the same, but just because we're breaking some of these tasks,
Right.
it may be that we either have to throw more people at it the day of, or we have to do some of it the day prior, and then it's...
And then for the barricade rental, where would that come from? Would that also come from the special events, since it's not at staff time?
I think in the past, it's been charged one of two ways. It either gets charged entirely to our signage, material and supply account, or if funds had been allocated into a supply account for special events or celebrations, it could get charged there. I submitted it for payment. I didn't always have the final say on where it got charged.
But
So
it's never been an issue.
It's always been paid.
Okay, there you go. We don't have outstanding barricade rental bills. That's good. Okay, I don't have any further questions, but we did recommend unanimously from committee that this be approved.
Does cabaret license have to be acted on by the board?
I'm sorry.
Does the cabaret license application?
Right, the motion just,
It should say permit.
street festival permit application. How about we just throw in and cabaret licenses? Just cover all the bases.
So we had a motion, and
Oh, was there a second? Okay.
Yes.
so what is the motion?
Move to approve the street festival permit and application and cabaret license application of Shorewood bid for the 15th annual Shorewood Criterion Bike Race to be held on Thursday, January 28th, 2018, and to direct the village clerk to issue the appropriate permits.
And second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Okay, we move on to item 8B, consider approval of bids for roofing, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing subcontractors for renovation of the police department, project and plans. So
And tonight we have Chief Newberg here and our representative from Riley Construction. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I've been back. Good
Welcome
evening.
back.
Thank you, nice to see all of you again. I'll try to keep this short.
you have to state your name against the record.
Eric Dillon from Riley Construction. So as always,